Was Erik Ten Hag unfairly sacked? Yes guys, in today's video I'm going to discuss Erik Ten Hag's tenure at Manchester United. Now before I start, could you like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank you for doing so. Let's first start off with his first season. In his first season, he actually, in my opinion, if you look at the bigger picture, he did remarkably well. We had a few big slip-ups, you could say. Now, let's start off with his first two matches. He actually lost his first two matches. And then on his third match, he actually ended up beating Liverpool 2-1. That was his first managerial win, a win over Liverpool, which probably made him very much loved by the Manchester United faithful. And this is where it starts to get pretty decent. And, you know, he does his thing, and he actually reaches, in this season, the Carabao Cup final and the FA Cup final. He loses the FA Cup final, but he does win the Carabao Cup. And Man United fans, they treat it as the biggest thing ever. They say Carabao Cup's the best thing ever, and they celebrate and they go crazy. And he actually finishes third in the league. But one key thing here that you've got to remember is that he has taken over an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer team that finished second. And Ole finished second, I think 2 or 3 times, but he definitely finished second here. And you could say Man United actually did downgrade from second to third. But the key thing is, he got top 3, which is pretty hard to get nowadays, unless you're Man City, Arsenal, or Liverpool. And he got second, he got third in the league. He won a trophy, Carabao Cup. He even reached an FA Cup final. And all in all, a pretty good season. But a major thing that happened this season is a week after the Carabao Cup final, he had an infamous 7-0 loss to Liverpool. And that was literally the worst, the worst result for Manchester United in this fixture of all time. It was that bad, and you could say they haven't recovered since. But yes, they did win the Carabao Cup, and being in top 3, he qualified Manchester United for the Champions League for the next season. And he also promoted some youth players like Kobe Mainu, Garnacho was implemented. And when I say he put them in, he at least developed them a bit. And he also got his own players in. And very much you did see him trying to get a lot of his old Ajax players to Manchester United, the likes of Anthony, the likes of De Ligt, the likes of Onana. And yeah, and then we go on to his next season, his second full season in charge. This one was it was up and down, a lot of up and downs. And what happened was he finished 8th in the league with about 60 points, I believe. And he actually did pretty okay in my opinion. And obviously a huge fall off from 3rd place. And he did come 8th place in the league. And he also did, one big thing is that he did reach the FA Cup final, where he did go on to be Manchester City. And he won Man United trophy. And thinking about it now, he had 3 finals in 2 seasons. That's pretty impressive. But one big thing that he really did mess up, if he didn't win the FA Cup final, he would have got sacked then. But because he did win, in my opinion, I can't really know this. They actually got knocked out in the Champions League. They finished dead last. I mean, no Europa League. It was in the old format. They finished 4th in the Champions League table. And the loss sealed it was the 1-0 loss to Bayern Munich. And they ended up 4th in the Champions League, which meant no European football, no Europa League football. But the thing is, they did finish in 8th place, but they did win an FA Cup. And that secured them Europa League football, which they did go on to lose the Europa League final with a new manager, Ruben Amorim. And all in all, 2 trophies, 2 seasons. I feel like it's not too bad. Obviously, the league position was a massive drop-off. They've got to have had to improve them. And one of the big things that really did stifle Erik Ten Hag was his style of play. That was the thing that was talked about his whole tenure at Man United. And his style of play, they didn't really know what it was. After 2 seasons, that is a big issue. But in my opinion, if you've got 2 trophies in 2 seasons, yes, one is a Carabao Cup, but if one is an FA Cup, and your style of play, you don't know, I feel like it's not that big of a thing. If you're winning trophies, that's good. He came 3rd in his first season, but his second season, he did come 8th. That was a big, talking point. And the next big thing was Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United. When Erik Ten Hag was there, he benched him, and then Ronaldo, he basically had a tantrum. He had an interview, and they said that Ronaldo basically said, I don't like the manager, I don't like the training ground. And it's his opinion, I guess. It's fair to him. That's what he thought. The training ground, okay, yeah, but it's not Erik Ten Hag's fault. But the thing is, he benched Ronaldo, even though he did get 20 goals in the first season. I think that was with Oli. But he did bench him and said something like that he's happy or something that he didn't play him or he left. I'm not sure, something like that. And they did go into win the FA Cup final, but in my opinion, benching Ronaldo wasn't that good. I know there was a big, debate about who should he favour, the team or Ronaldo. And yes, Ronaldo was old, but in my opinion, I feel he should have, built the team around Ronaldo at least for 2 or 3 more seasons, and that was a big mess up. And then his third and final season, which was cut very, very short, after 7 Premier League games, he had 8 points. He was then sacked, and it was a very bad start, and it basically signaled his end for his Manchester United tenure. And I felt like he should have really been given more time. Amorim has been given 3 more years, and he's done objectively far worse than Erik Ten Hag has done. And yes, Amorim hasn't really had a full season, but in my opinion, he kind of has. He started in November, and last November, and he claimed that the season doesn't really count, which I think, in my opinion, is really stupid. And somehow everyone else supported it, and they did go on to lose the Europa League final. They finished a record low of 16th place, and they ended up with nothing. Erik Ten Hag, he didn't go that low, and even in the second season, Ruben Amorim, he has a style of play, which hooray, his style of play, but it's just not working for him. Results aren't going good. He hasn't won any trophies, and he still hasn't had a complete full season, in my opinion. But still, I think he has to deliver something here. At least get on top 8. I think United fans will take that, but I feel like he should have kept with Ten Hag at least for 1 more season, see what happens. I know it's a big fall off, but I feel like he should have kept with Ten Hag, because at least he knows how to get to finals and win stuff. Amorim, he hasn't really showed that, and I feel like give him at least a few more years. He can do what he did with Ajax to Manchester United, but I guess he had a decent amount of time, but I think he needed 2 or 3 more years, and you would have seen him work his stuff. But then on November, Amorim was appointed, and I feel like he's done okay, but he should have kept with Ten Hag. That's in my opinion. What do you guys think, Manchester United fans? Do you think he was treated unfairly? And especially with the match today, Liverpool and United, I thought I'd do this video. What do you guys think? Any more videos you want me to make? Let me know. Could you comment, share, subscribe? And thank you for watching.